Fantastic video, by the way. This is by far my favorite game of all time, and I love getting to hear others' thoughts on it because I feel that there's so much hidden behind this game with lore, story, etc. I really hope we get a fully fleshed out continuation someday. J.O. my bike, everyone. This video is quite overdue, but believe you me, I think it's worth the wait. Welcome to the sequel and finale to my JSRF Theory video series. It was, at the time, the highest viewed video on my channel. It's obviously not anymore thanks to my Get Enough edit, but I wanted to celebrate all the awesome fan theories and kind words I've received by answering as many unanswered questions as possible. Buckle up, everybody, this is going to be a long one. Okay, so firstly, I just want to stress that JSRF is a reboot, and I'm only looking at it as a sequel in a hypothetical view. That being said, it should be noted that JSRF's development came out of an 11-game deal with Microsoft for the original Xbox alongside other Sega sequels such as Panzer Dragoon Orta, Toe Jam and Earl 3, Crazy Taxi 3 High Roller, and a bunch of others for all the sequel enthusiasts out there. Oh, and before we go any further, let's talk about Potts. Yeah, Potts. He's a little boxer dog who gets kidnapped by the noise tanks in the first game and is then turned into a noise tank himself. Now, in this video, I was looking at a lot of the character textures for more proof to back up my claims, and I found a few things. 1, I discovered all available serial numbers for Potts and the noise tanks respectively. 2, I noticed an extremely unsettling detail in the original JSR. Now, in JSRF, there's a common texturing technique in which anything not seen by the player isn't actually there, like eyes, for example. Okay, so let's say if a character like Combo or Garen wore glasses 24/7, then why would you make textures for their eyes if no one will ever see them? Makes sense, right? So now for Potts, that mentality holds true since he's always wearing his little 3D shades. However, in JSR, Potts does have eyes. Hollow, metallic eyes that stare right into your soul. The devs took the time to showcase a bit of his robotic endoskeleton underneath his blue fur. Why? That is so freaking dark! Like, now there is no escaping the fact that they killed this little puppy and turned him into a science project. Why would you go that far if you knew no one was ever gonna see that in game? Why? Okay, maybe it was from, some sort of piece from an earlier version of the JSR story. Who knows? But still, why? Whoa! Yeah, it's getting bad over here, y'all. Real bad. Oh yeah, thunder and crackling, yeah. Big ol' hurricane coming my way, so I'm gonna let you guys in on the behind the scenes process here. I'm hoping I don't die. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say. Now on to the show. Question 0. Why are they in a garage? Personally, I think it's a family-owned garage that belongs to Corn and Gum's parents, which would explain why Tab wears overalls in the first game. In JSRF, it's more of a junkyard-like atmosphere, probably since the self-styled genius likes to work with scrap metal and thrown out parts. Case in point, Roboy. They probably moved out to this new spot after the GGs disbanded. Question 1. What was the time jump between JSR and JSRF? Alright guys, at first I didn't know where to look or where to go, but thanks to a magazine ad for Captured by False Proof, we know that JSRF takes place in 2024, so all I had to do was find out what year the original JSR takes place, which was tricky because no years are ever really stated. I gave it some thought and I had an epiphany. I'll just use the copyright year from one of the random in-game adverts, so thanks to Sleazy and his texture blog post that led to this 333 car ad that seems to say 2006, maybe 2007? I honestly can't tell. But with that number, we have a time jump of about 18 years, 19 give or take. And that combined with the ages in the official JSR guidebook would leave Beat at 35 years old. Wow, that is really old. Too old in fact, since Beat appears to be in his mid to early 20s. Well, I really wanted an answer to this question, but sadly I don't think there's any way to guess when Jet Set Radio takes place. I think that 2024 was probably selected because it sounds cool and futuristic, not really because of canonicity. There are so many numbers in the Jet Set Radio series, like in the English manual it says that K has been in Tokyo To for 13 years, and on the backup of the official site it states that JSRF is actually set in 1999. I don't know, man, maybe the true answer can be found in one of those official guidebooks, but I don't own either of them, and there are no official translations of the books besides these fan ones on the internet as of this recording. Still, this is a big question for JSRF Theory, and I wanted to get out of the way first. I feel like not actually setting this game in a time period was a very smart decision though, since it was obviously made and marketed as a remake. Question 2, is B actually an alien? Remember that little gag theory I made? Question 3. What does the name GG stand for? Yeah, so Hideki officially confirmed, but the name stands for Grace and Glory. Does that mean that Grace and Glory is like the GG's theme, or is it named that because it's the GG's time to shine? I'm not really sure, but it's cool to have an official answer. Question 4. What's up with Boogie and Soda? So the answer for this one was really obvious. I don't know why I didn't say it before. Soda was Slate's original Japanese name, so there's no story reason for the name change. I like Soda more than Slate, so I'm glad he got his old name back. As for Boogie, she's had multiple names ranging from Piranha to Sugar. I guess they changed it again after her redesign to fit her new style. If you want a story reason, her multiple names seem to allude to her constantly changing her style, with the younger Piranha being more standoffish and the older Boogie being more chill and sociable. Her personality seems to be intact, and funnily enough, just like Soda, she's not actually found in her original district this time. She was originally unlocked in Shibuya-cho, and Soda was found in Kogane-cho. I really like that parallel with the characters. It's probably things like that why a lot of people ship them. Also, man, I have grown to just love both Boogie and Piranha's designs. They really broke the mold with both of these. Not sure which I like more, but I think I've got more of a Piranha lean. I just love the color palette more, and the combo of the goggles and her hair, just chef's kiss. Question 5. What's up with this unused pinball gang? So here we have a logo for a secret 8th gang that never actually appeared in the final game. Perhaps the data miners of our community can whip out those shovels and find some more info on them, maybe even a name. This was most likely the earliest model and texture for the game, and it could be that skateboarding gang that Kikuchi threw away. Shout out to those who saw my Ali King videos. Sorry I don't have any other info on this, I'm just trying to raise awareness. Question 6. Why is Rith found on the roof of Kogane-cho? Thanks to Bye Bye Blue for this one. Rith tries to catch Poison Jam returning to their hideout because she thinks they're cute.
Hi there!
Question 7. How did Combo control part of the GG's turf? Not sure. Maybe he felt entitled to a piece since he was an ex-GG. Maybe this is one of the various territorial tug-of-wars that Kay was talking about. Question 8. Who is the pizza guy? The answer for this one? Clutch. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. I've got 3 reasons why it's gotta be him. 1. That's how he knew where to find the GGs. 2. That's why he's so obsessed with graffiti souls. They probably have some sort of monetary value, and he's most likely making no money delivering pizzas when someone can just skate across town in less than 5 minutes. Or maybe it's the opposite. Since he has skates, he's actually the fastest delivery dude, but I doubt it. Oh, and 3. Did I mention he's broke? Now, I have no official proof that he's broke, but if he was, that would provide an answer to another theory. Question 9. How did Clutch know where Yo-Yo was being held? Now, the likely answer is that he most likely lives there. Yeah, he probably lives in the residential district, and that makes sense. He's in a lower income part of town, he has a meager pizza job that he's probably bad at since he's like hours late to the GG's garage. He has trash morals and tries to steal graffiti sold for a quick buck, and he's probably the one who tipped off Cube and the Golden Rhinos to the GG's location, allowing them to kidnap Yo-Yo in the first place. That or Cube just knew since she is an ex-GG herself, but despite all this, Clutch is still one of my favorite characters ever. I'm sorry, I just love his design way too much. Question 10. Are Clutch and Coin the same person? The answer is no, plain and simple. I really don't know why everyone keeps comparing these two. They are polar opposites. Like, Coin was a hero who gave his life for a higher cause, but then Clutch is like a liar who steals from others for his own benefit. Still love him though. Another thing is, like, Cube makes an in-game comment referring to an interaction she had with the Golden Rhino saying, if you don't take them seriously, you're as good as dead. This new evidence could possibly refer to Coin or her more recent deal with the Golden Rhinos in-game. Either way, Coin is, for all intents and purposes, dead. Sorry. Question 11. Why does Yo-Yo call himself fake? Now, if you're actually able to reach Yo-Yo before defusing the bombs in the residential zone, he'll say, sometimes even I can't tell the difference between me and the real Yo-Yo. I believe this is a translation error, but there's supposedly a line in the Japanese version of the game after you beat Chapter 9. If NT3000 interacts with Yo-Yo, then Yo-Yo will say, I'm the real fake. Honestly, I need more evidence for this, but it could suggest that the yo-yo of this game is actually an imposter, or it's just not cool with someone stealing his thunder as that shady guy that nobody should trust or let borrow their Nintendo Switch. Just something to think about. Question 12. What's up with the doomsday clock in Rokaku Die Heights? Honestly, I don't know, but yeah, I just wanted to mention it since it is a very big point of conversation for other theorists in the community. I recommend checking out Sunset Radio's video if you're curious. I had no idea the clock even existed until I watched their video, so I couldn't even pretend to look into it. Question 13. Who let Hayashi know about the GGs were at Rokaku Stadium? Another banger by Bye Bye Blue. K's broadcast was apparently being used to learn of the GG's location after they disappeared. That's how Hayashi found them. Question 14. Why was the Rokaku Expo not at Rokaku Stadium? So apparently after the terror drone scared away all the attendants, Rokaku was forced to move to the busiest area of the city to set up shop. By the way, I really wish the pedestrians didn't glitch out in this scene if they were ever even supposed to be there. Question 15. Are Beat and Yo-Yo brothers? Totally, I don't know why I didn't think of that. Maybe because the two are never naturally together in the GGs and have to be unlocked first. Either way, yes. In JSR, they've both got little derp faces and are redheads with glasses. They also share the same dance. On top of that, there's that little interaction in JSRF after you unlock B where he'll ask where Potts came from. Potts is obviously Yo-Yo's dog in this iteration, but he was very much associated with Beat in the first game. It would make sense that one of them would have Potts if they're siblings. That's all I really got, but there's actually another piece of evidence that could better help this theory, but it leads to an entirely different question. Question 16. Why did the GGs disband? Spoiler alert, this is pure theory. Not enough tangible evidence this time, but I still think it's too good to not mention. This theory comes to us from Sharkfin, who asks if Beat is Goji's son. Now, if that's the case, based off that earlier theory, that would mean that Yo-Yo is also his son as well. It's entirely possible. Now, if you check out the fan translation for the JSR guidebook, it says that Beat's trait is a failure. However, on the wiki, it says delinquent. I think that the muddy translation here works to our advantage though, since a delinquent can be seen as a failure in both the eyes of a father and society as a whole. Yo-Yo's trait is a liar with his likes being counterfeit brands. A deceitful punk and possible scam artist. Definitely not the best personality for the son of a business conglomerate like Rokaku. Speaking of likes, Beat likes vinyl records. What if Beat learned about the legend of the Devil's Contract and Goji used that information to fuel his evil plans for world domination? If Beat and Yo-Yo were really Rokaku's whole time, that would explain why the gang broke up shortly after the game's ending. There was most likely a huge fight when it was discovered that the leader of the GGs was secretly the son of the enemy. In the end, Beat and Yo-Yo sadly couldn't outrun their past. This would also explain why Yo-Yo's appearance is so radically different in JSRF, since he's trying to escape his past ties. On another note, if we add in the Goji Jr. theory from part 1, that would better explain the Zero Beats. They're modeled after Beat, the lost Rokaku's son, and Goji goes on to say that the Zero Beats are not only his children, but are geniuses as well. Basically, far superior to Goji's runaway son. The Zero Beats are the kids Goji Sr. always wanted. And I did say kids, think about it. The only other character to get a robotic doppelganger is Yo-Yo. That would also explain why he's given so much presence in the story. Maybe that's why the Rokaku brothers really came back to Tokyo To. Their father, who had been dead for nearly 20 years, has resurfaced and is causing trouble yet again. I really like the layers of this family theory, since that would make Goji Jr. technically Goji Sr.'s son. The robotic copy's true goal was to carry out his creator's will while also being the superior heir to the Rokaku name and being the one who gets revenge for his father's death with the help of his Zero Beats siblings. Or are the Zero Beats his sons and are Beat and Yo-Yo's nephews? Man, I don't even know. But thank you, Sharkfin, for your excellent question. You and Nell may have just cracked this thing wide open. Question 17. How much control did Rokaku truly have? I noticed that the Noise Tanks, the Immortals, and the Doom Riders share a strange blue pigment in their skin textures that got me thinking about how much they actually have in common with each other. It's no mystery that Rokaku has an impact on every gang mentioned, but how much? I have a theory that it's just that. Barely any evidence for this one, but hear me out. What if these gangs were all curated by the Rokaku group to give more support to the Golden Rhinos and extend control throughout Tokyo To? It's no secret that all the gang wars are interfering with Goji's plans for total domination, so it would make sense that he would try to make a street gang to infiltrate the ensuing battleground and take control. Basically to keep ears on the ground and maintain a stake in the fight for the streets. Of course Rokaku would do something so lame. Anyways, their first attempt at a synthetic gang was the original Noise Tanks, but after over 2,000 reiterations, prototypes, and experiments, they still couldn't get it right. The NT-1000 was very hip and cool, but it had too much personality to control, and the unveiling of the NT-2000 upon the streets ended with the portrayal of Rokaku and the Golden Rhinos, a robotic uprising that shook the streets, and the ultimate failure and destruction of NT-3000, a false robot god in the image of Yo-Yo meant to be the chosen one. What made NT-3000 so unique is that he somehow had control over all the synthetic Rokaku gangs, excluding the Golden Rhinos obviously. But maybe at one point in time, very early in the story, the NT-2000s were actually following Rokaku orders, at least until NT-3000 came along. On to the next synthetic gang, the Immortals. What makes them interesting is that they've actually done the most in terms of conquering the streets for Rokaku. Unlike the Noise Tanks and the Doom Riders, their graffiti is everywhere from the Skyscraper District to Kibogaoka Hill to Hikage Street. They place stakes in every single major district. That's incredibly impressive since the Noise Tanks and the Doom Riders pose no graffiti threat to any of the three boroughs. To get a little off topic, that's actually a nice little attention to detail that makes this war feel more real. Seeing graffiti get covered up as well as it appearing in enemy territory. I especially love how the GGs managed to push the Love Shockers into the deep ends of Shibuya-cho, only for the Immortals to come in and attack it down horses, so to speak. Anyways, back to it. The Immortals being part of the Rokaku group would explain how they have their own base of operations at Faro Park. Not a single other gang has such specific landmark designed for them like that. Rapid 99 doesn't count since they're stylized after their district. This whole section has given me a whole new respect for the Immortals, but it doesn't change the fact that they inevitably got pwned by the force that is the GGs. On to the final gang, the Doom Riders. They are super lame, and I only like them more than the Immortals because they have way cooler vocals. Hell yeah! Apparently these old heads were once a threat upon the streets known as the Hellbikers, but they got their heads stomped in by the Rokaku police. Probably caught Hayashi on a bad day. Anyways, Rokaku picked up the left for dead pieces of their gang and put them back together as the Doom Riders. This time equipped with skates, these zombies are reanimated similar to the Immortals and are forced to play for their freedom by the Noise Tanks. Of course they fail and receive the brainwashing chip. Now check this out. 3 gangs participated in Deathball, but only 1 got the brainwashing chip. The Immortals didn't get it because they probably already had it, and the Love Shockers didn't get it since the game got interrupted and they escaped. Speaking of the Love Shockers, were they the real ones who contacted Hayashi? In JSR, after defeating them, they're found with an emblem of the Golden Rhinos. They clearly had ties with the Rokaku group before, so I wouldn't put it past them to drop an anonymous tip that could help out a soon-to-be out-of-a-job police captain like Hayashi. Sounds like a perfect way to get back at the GGs while also getting away from those psychotic Noise Tanks. Oh yeah, the Noise Tanks. Notice how they didn't grab Poison Jam or Rapid 99. Nope, they only rounded up gangs that were originally affiliated with the Rokaku group in the past. I wonder if the Noise Tanks ever did betray the Rokaku group after all, or maybe they were working under their true prime directive to avenge Goji Sr. at all cost. Who knows, man. I really like this theory, especially since the Doom Riders got kidnapped and brainwashed the same way Poison Jam did after they got their scales whacked in the first game. Ultimately, the Doom Riders were thrown away with the trash gang they are, leaving the last true synthetic Rokaku gang. That's right, suckers, I didn't forget about the notorious Zero Beats! The pinnacle of robotic evolution besides Goji Jr., of course. They sprayed their mechanical message all throughout Tokyo while spreading vicious rumors, stealing vinyl records, and looking pretty damn good while doing it. They are the upgraded successors to the Noise Tank line, the ZB-1000s, and they came the closest to tearing the GGs apart. Their troublemaking led to the Rokaku Sons coming back to Tokyo, and they've been operating in the shadows ever since. The only weird thing about them was 1, they were being used solely for Goji Jr.'s endgame plan and not the casual Monopoly game he was playing with the GGs, and 2, you only fight 2 of the 3 Zero Beats in the final Taggers tag. I believe this is because the final Zero Beat thought it was wrong to participate in and destroy the true heir to the Rokaku throne, especially when they look just like him. I don't know, I got a little lost here, but it just goes to show that Rokaku was essentially playing every side at once. I love that such a hollow and cliche villain actually possesses a lot more hypothetical depth and character. His booming presence is seen everywhere throughout the game. Remember the blackout on 99th Street? I think either Rokaku cut the power or just didn't care to maintain that slum-like area of 99th. Why spend that much money lighting such a useless part of the city? Rokaku's poor management of Tokyo can be seen everywhere. Toxic buildups in the sewers causing huge salamanders, construction signs announcing the tearing down of historical landmarks, the people's outcries and protests throughout the city, the slums becoming dirtier and unsupervised, overbearing police action, and his stupid logo popping up everywhere. Goji Rokaku is in control of every single second of this game, planning and scheming to ruin everything, with ties into every single cultural facet of Tokyo, all for the grand plan of destroying it all. The city that spat on his creator's name. Now that is evil. Question 18. Why were the rumors spread and why was there a blackout on 99th Street?
I know I've retconned a ton of theories with these new answers, but since none of it's at all canon, you can believe in whatever theory you like, and I think that's pretty cool. With a game that has so many potential answers to choose from, you can make your own adventure and interpretation of the plot entirely personal to you. Anyways, I believe that the Zero Beats carried out the spreading of the vicious rumors in order to keep tensions high amongst all the gangs. Goji probably did that to add to his campaign of blaming the gangs for all the city's problems and launching Rokaku Expo to begin with. Also, these same vicious rumors might have been the ones that got Yo-Yo out of the garage looking for trouble before he got kidnapped. As for the blackout, I think that Goji was responsible since this is the home of the Pink No Shijin from the first game. Since he was a valuable informant to K, Goji was probably trying to limit his info in the various districts, further adding to disinformation and chaos on the streets. Question 19. What is the soul of a street? This ties right back to the Goji Jr. theory. We know that the soul of a street is a physical thing thanks to the graffiti souls. It is said that they are the manifestation of the freedom, will, hopes, and dreams of all the inhabitants that have tread across the streets. The streets are a living, breathing thing that inspires the people all across Tokyo-to. They are a reflection of its inhabitants, and he who controls the hearts of the people controls the soul of the street. It's not just about changing culture, it's about manipulating hearts and minds and destroying the thing that inspired the GGs in the first place. To get true revenge against Beat and Yo-Yo is to destroy the very thing they tried so desperately to save: unity, fun, and freedom. Little did Goji know, souls don't die. But what could you expect from a machine, a soulless creature trying to mimic another man's life? Maybe all he wanted was to have a soul of his own, a life that was his and his alone. Sadly, he thought that life and human nature at its core was just corruption and vanity, and tried to absorb all those misguided feelings into himself and transcend his hollow metallic form. He instead became the physical manifestation of everything we despise: greed, envy, gluttony, wrath, and pride. In the end, he thought he won, maniacally laughing at his own demise, thinking that he'll live on forever as a memory of the streets, not realizing that the virtues of justice and honor will always transcend the superficial works of man. Rom, you've lost me. What is the soul of the street? Beats me. Whatever inspires you to get up in the morning, whatever fuels your passions, whatever keeps you hoping for a bright tomorrow, that's what it is. Or maybe it's just some hip terminology made up for an old video game. I have no idea. And with that, we have officially ended part 2 of the JSRF Theory series. Special thanks to Mr. Sleazy and Tofu Lemon for texture ripping across both games, and to Rising Sonic 17 for making his video with the character interaction so I could cite all those new facts. This series has allowed me to look so much deeper into the characters, universe, and lore of JSRF, and I've just gained this much bigger appreciation for the series as a whole, man. A big thanks to Two Worlds Media, the original JSR theorist. If not for his videos, I would have never made my first one and we wouldn't be here. It's just crazy how far we've come. Thank you all so much for sticking with me. It won't be long now until the channel is officially over. Since this is the last real scripted video, I'd like to announce that my next one's going to have me looking at a lot more fan theories I couldn't touch on here, and that I'll be doing a final Q&A for the channel. So if you have anything you want to ask me, talk about, whatever, leave a question in the comments and I'll see you there. Thank you for watching another Adam SUSHI broadcast, and stay tuned. Oh, one more thing. Do y'all think it was gum that broke the Love Shocker's hearts?